Today with me I have Urshita, a former EGMO participant and a current math major at Chennai Mathematical Institute. She is also one of the most fun and interesting persons I know, with a long list of quirky hobbies. Hi Urshita, welcome to Women in STEM.
Hi.
It's so great to have you on this show, and thank you for doing it for me.
Thank you for asking me to do it.
Yeah, before we proceed, would you like to tell a bit more about yourself to our audiences?
Yeah, so I'm Urshita. I'm studying at Chennai Mathematical Institute, or CMI for short. I'm a second year student there. And yeah, I'm studying mathematics and computer science. It's a double major of sorts, I guess.
Yeah. For people who don't know, we went to European Girls Math Olympiad 2018 together in Italy. They were fun times, and we also
Such a fun time.
we also went to like national math, like international math Olympiad training camps together a couple of times. Yeah. So how did you actually fall in love with math? How did it all start?
So I can't exactly say when it all started because I think, as far as I can remember, I've always liked puzzles and I've always liked sort of recreational math things. And we always had, the puzzle books in the house. And I think my father also encouraged it a lot. He's a mathematician also. And when I was little, he would teach me some things ahead of math class in school. Because he didn't, math is handled very poorly in school. So and he used to, do it casually or, present it as this like fun thing. So I was interested in it always, or like I liked it, but I took it for granted sort of. I think I got serious about it once I started. I got to know about Olympiads and started studying for them. But yeah, I think from home the encouragement started there.
I think everybody would benefit if you sketch your journey through the Olympiads and finally to Chennai Mathematical Institute.
Yeah. So so I came across the Olympiads when I was in 9th grade, and I think 9th to 12th is when you're eligible to write them. So yeah, I came across. So you have the regional rounds and you have the national rounds, and then you get selected for a camp. So yeah, I came across like the regional math Olympiad paper, sat with it for some time, spent ages, couldn't get anywhere. But I mean, I really liked the feeling of just sitting and thinking on those problems.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think for me also it was a bit of an ego pop because for the first time I was like, it didn't come easily to me. I was challenged. So yeah, I think that year I wrote the regional math Olympiad, but I didn't get in. But like that kind of kicked off the motivation sort of. So the next year I remember 10th grade was for me my school life. My only memory of 10th grade was I used to have like math books lined up in my desk. As soon as a teacher would leave, they would come out, and I was just
yeah, I have those similar kind of memories. I remember like when I didn't get a problem, I used to be like so involved with it. I could spend days just thinking about it, like in the shower, while sleeping, while dreaming, like every time.
Yeah, I think that's the part of it that like sort of attracts you to it. There's the satisfaction you get when you get it, but you have to work to get there.
Yeah. And I think after you qualified the nationals, you got into Chennai Mathematical Institute. Again, for the viewers, if you qualify International Math Olympiad, if you're an INMO awardee, then you can get into CMI without the admission test. Yeah. So how did you decide on the college? Like, when did you decide you would pursue math, higher math?
So I think at some point during the course of my Olympiad study only, like all through high school, once I got interested in Olympiads, it's all I was always thinking about, essentially. So at some point during the course of that, I just realized, okay, because what it was for me was thinking on ages about some problem. So, and then you get exposed to people who are also interested in research, maybe not personally, but that there are people out there who are interested. There's a profession, that where you only do math research and you study it. And so I got to know about that, and I liked it, so I thought I'd pursue it. And again, because I had encouragement from home as well. So for college, there are two places in India, colleges in India, which just are purely math, and or you have physics and computer science in the segment, but the focus is still mathematics.
CMI and IIT Bangalore, right?
Yeah, Indians, yeah. So it was, the choice was between them, and both those places actually you get free admission if you get through the National Math Olympiad.
For I think you need to give the interview, right?
You get through to the interview, and so I think I eventually chose CMI just because some people who I'd known in the camp were going there. People a year older than me who graduated just went there, and I was a bit scared of not finding people to talk to in college. So I just thought, okay, I'll go here. I'll have someone. So,
I think familiarity is very important. Like in college life, like just knowing the atmosphere it's kind of helpful. Helps you to adjust, I guess. Yes.
Also,
Go ahead.
Yeah, like my school life, I was a very shy, quiet kid. So after that, it was yes. Even So for the viewers, you guys, the first year of IMOTC where Hoima and I met, I didn't talk to anybody. Again, she was the reason I talked to people at all, because she would just she knew people, so you would just get to know them yourself. I was a very shy, quiet kid, so I was just scared of that happening, and because of that, me not having people.
And then you started talking to me, and I think we have not stopped
so much. Then I started talking a little too much, I think. Compensating for the 17 years. Neither am I. I mean, I like it like this.
So CMI has a very very few girls compared to other more mainstream colleges, right? And even IMOTC had very few girls, and I'm sure that has its own challenges. So what do you think are some of the challenges you faced, and how did you overcome them?
So I think in general in STEM fields, very few girls go into them. Places like CMI, I mean, in India, research is not a very popular option. You always push towards. There's very it's very limited. The options you're presented with. So I think in the camps in IMOTC, for example, just girls and boys wouldn't talk to each other on their own. I think that has to do with how we're raised also. It's, boys are always stick to boys, girls always stick to girls. So you have to, because the girls are so few, you won't have anyone to talk to if you just stick to girls. So, and you do have to make some effort to talk to boys, because not all of them talk to you, even when you talk to them.
It's very hard. Like even if you are like working on a problem set and you don't have anybody to talk to about the problems, it's very detrimental to your learning as well, right?
So it's like before going to the camps, I was always, it was sort of an isolated event for me, and I was fine with that. But when I was there, I felt a bit strange at first, because you want to approach people, but you don't know how to do it. I mean, that being said, once you start talking to people, you do find, people. It's not like everyone doesn't talk to you, but no one will make the first move. So
I think you have to take the initiative. That's definitely a very important thing. I would agree with that completely. So what are your future plans now? Oh yeah, you were going to say something.
So and I think just gender ratio, skewed gender ratio in general. I think people get the idea that girls can't do math or aren't interested in it, which it just ends up being a cycle, because they aren't going into it because they haven't been encouraged into it. But because of the skewed gender ratio, people will think, they're not interested anyway. They're not made for it anyway, so they won't encourage.
It's just this vicious cycle, and really have to.
I was lucky because I had encouragement from home, so I didn't feel that before going to the class. But
your father is a mathematician, right? It's very important. I mean, to have that encouragement from home. I had encouragement from my parents to pursue the sciences, and I know that without that, I wouldn't have made it to where I am now. So
and I think the interview you did with Tamara, I think she talks about, she's from Macedonia, and there the gender ratio is actually pretty balanced, she said, whenever she went to the camp. So it just shows that the girls are not the problem, it's the society that's the problem.
Exactly. I'm so glad you actually watched those interviews.
I watched them religiously.
Thanks. So I was actually asking you about your future plans. What are you planning to do after CMI?
Math basically, or I know I want to go into academia. Right now, we have computer science as well that we study, and I feel like I haven't explored that. But yeah, I after this hopefully get a PhD and teach and research. I think that's basically.
Yeah, just to touch into it a bit, because the introductory video is amazing. So for viewers who don't know, Urshita is actually one of the most talented and versatile person I have known. And she has these amazing and very quirky hobbies. She can do the hula hoop and then origami and all sorts of like cool and crazy things. So do you think those hobbies at all like affect your thinking or your approach to life or how you pursue the stems, or like where does those hobbies fit in your life?
I think I think they give me something to do. It's just as simple as that. I think having that variation is just helps you. You can't always just put a finger on it. Okay, this is exactly how it helped me think or something. But
Yeah, but
it's like adding a bit more flavor to life. Yeah, sorry.
I think it's very cool because whenever people think about mathematicians, they just think about big nerds with glasses and oily hair stuck inside a room. But it's not like that.
I think movies are also the culprit there because
yes, they are. Yeah, and that's why I brought this up, because you can juggle and you can do the hoopla thing. I love those, and I remember those camp times. Yeah. And what would be your final words of advice to our audiences?
I think even when people start getting interested in STEM fields or anything, you start doubting a career in it, because immediately you're just flooded with all these, sensationalized stories of, this person read this textbook by the time they were so and so years old, or this person has already gotten this score on this Olympiad, things like that. So I think it makes people think that it makes people worried that they aren't living up to that standard, because that's the only way they'll be good enough to pursue a career in it. So I think at this earlier stage, especially, this is never a good idea, but at this earlier stage, especially, it's not a good idea to try to put a number on how good you are. So, it's a long life. You have a lot of time. It's really about how you grow into it and how you work on it. So, I know everyone says it, but everyone has their own path. So it's just, everyone has worries, so it's natural to worry, but try not to let it affect you too much.
Yeah. In that context, I don't remember where I exactly read it, and I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but I read somewhere that, like, suppose there's a job that requires certain qualifications, and, the men, even if they don't have, like, 70% of the qualifications, like most of the qualifications, they'll still go for it. They'll still go for the job. They'll still try for it. Whereas women, even they have the most of the qualifications, they'll still doubt themselves. They won't take the first step, and they will miss opportunities as a result.
So. I think, I've seen people think it through a lot more. I don't know if this is just because I've talked to more girls about this, but like in my life personally, also I've seen I've seen a lot of girls, and myself included, who think things through a lot before going into them. Whereas I've seen other guys just go ahead with it. So, I don't know if that's just because I've talked to girls more about it, but especially if this is a more universal thing, I think this.
Yeah, I mean, I either read it in a study, or maybe I saw a speech by Sheryl Sandberg where she speaks about it. I'm not really sure, but yeah, it's a like fact that has been extensively studied. So I think, you should like go for it, even if you have some of the qualifications. You'll learn on the way, right?
Yeah.
It was amazing talking to you, actually.
You too.
Yeah.
As always.
Yeah, as always. Okay. See you.
Okay. Bye.